Okay. You ask him.
Right, so this is, we've been training here at Mark. We've got 2 rooms. To separate out the thinking, we've got a process room where we teach the processes, comparing to Symbol, and we have a secondary room where we teach the technologies, connected home and equipment. And it helps the students focus and not get swamped by the volume of stuff. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to take you around the process room first. Okay everybody, this is Mark. Mark is from Motorola Mothership. Mark travels around the world and manages to survive on very little sleep.
Correct.
Would you like just give us an idea of how the breadth of the sort of travel you have to do in your job?
It's sporadic, but we're trying to coordinate call centers and customer support worldwide. So we have 23 call centers at Motorola, excluding mobile devices. So just for connected home, Symbol, Motorola Government Public Safety, Motorola Cellular Infrastructure. 23 call centers, $130 million a year, not well coordinated. So what we're trying to do is leverage call centers such as you have here to support other businesses, not just Symbol.
Fantastic.
And we're trying to collapse that 23 into something less than 23. But this is a very excellent operation here.
So if you're okay, Mark's just going to join you as a student for a very short time while we walk around. So
I'm just going to hide.
If I introduce, that's Thomas, who's another trainer and manager for the American technical and non-technical team. Right, so welcome. We're just going to use this time to do a quick review of what we've learned around this room during the time that we've been here. If you remember, we start off by focusing on the Symbol world at this side, so we have a clarity of what is our world like as it stands. And at this end, we always start from this end, tangibles. What are the locations in the Symbol organisations? Where does Symbol exist? Why does it exist there? So that we can understand that we are not just in the Czech Republic, but actually we respond to repair centres in Juarez, we respond to sales calls across Europe, and we know where our support centres are. Can anyone tell me where the support centres are for Symbol? Our level 2, level 3?
Brno,
Yep.
New
York,
India,
Sydney. If I told you they had shorts and clip-on ponytails, would it help? San Jose. There's nothing wrong with people from California. Can I just make that very, very clear, Mark?
Very timely statement.
Then the next thing is, we remember, what are the sorts of cases we do in Symbol? What is it that we process? What are the things that come into us? The technical and the non-technical. What is it we deal with? Well, we deal with DOAs, we deal with technical supports and the non-technical repairs, repair warranties, customer queries, upgrades, licenses. So we've got a series, and that's where we started this training from. And then we take this real world, these are what the customer wants, and then we place them into our software world of the queues. Where are the queues? And we don't care what the applications are. Where can we put this stuff in the Symbol world? And here we've got queues that we use in our Symbol world. So we've got the queues for the non-technicals, and we've got the queues for the technical questions. And these are stuff you've grown up with, so this is your world. I'm not saying anything you don't know. As well as placing these cases into queues, the way in which we do it is by asking questions. Yeah, all the interactions we ever do with customers are actually questions. We get confident in asking the right questions, we get confident in understanding what the customer's saying, we record it on the cases, we use that to select where it goes. And when I say it's that simple, it's logically that's what we do. So when we grow into the job, we grow into the ability to ask the right questions and understand the customer's answers. And I happen to know, because I've known you for a long time, that you do that well. And having done that, we are then left with, and this is important, we don't think about process, that's all. only then, once we've understood the questions, can we then move on. There happen to be processes that are followed. There happen to be escalation paths. There happen to be times when we say that's all we can do and we give it to someone else. And that's the symbol world. So, if we started off by just reminding ourselves of the symbol world, it becomes not too much of a jump to then look at the connected home world. And before anyone mentions what about home networks mobility, because they will, won't they? Just want to say that the combination of those windows and these windows makes network home mobility. That's why, as far as we're concerned, this is connected home. So connected home, again we start off with what are the real locations for connected home and why are they there? Can anyone tell me some of the real connected home locations? Philadelphia, the main, yeah. Marlborough, well done. San Diego. And again, some of the, almost all apart from the mothership, these are companies that Motorola have acquired to build what we call network home mobility. And so they are real locations. And just like we've got real locations, those locations get used later on in the escalation path, which we'll see. So, as we had symbol cases, we've now got connected home case types. It's still the same thing. They may be different titles, but it's the same thing that we've always done. So, in the big picture, we have technical support cases and we have defective products. So, can anyone tell me what's ACE?
Support contract.
And what's the equivalent in the symbol world?
Gold advanced.
Exactly. Yeah. All we're talking is we're changing the nomenclature between one world and another, but we still do the same thing. In the symbol world, there are conditions that allow you to do that exchange. In the connected home world, there are different conditions. Can anyone remember the 24 hours? What's significant about 24 hours? It seems, why 24 hours?
It's for DOA when the unit was 24 hours working already, or if it was not 24 hours working, there's difference.
Exactly.
On the case handling then.
It's just the criteria that have been created to generate what we will and what we won't do. And if we were going to get, as Mark was talking about earlier, if we were going to get some other business here, we would draw the other businesses one here. They would be case types, they would have different ones of these, but it would still be what we've always done. It would be no magic blue smoke. It would be just a different set of case types. And just like we had over there, once we got the case types, the next thing we need to know is which queues exist, which software entities can we push these cases to? And here we've got the choices for us. So we've got a mere customer service. Now, we've got a mere repair. We've got the ACE queues, the ACE 4-hour queue, which I'm not quite sure yet how we managed to do 4 hours everywhere in Europe, but I'm sure Mark will send us an email at some point. And then we've got the level 1. Can anyone remember where the level 1 is geographically? Chicago. And again, this isn't a course to actually teach the whys and wherefores of politics, but actually, Chicago, its customer is Horsham. This is, in the annals of time, Chicago volunteered to do support work. And so, the real customer, as far as we're concerned, is the people who phone up, the network. Oh, so what types of customer do we have in Connected Home?
Service providers.
Service providers. These are big boys. These are not. We do not get like the symbol type of customers, users, people who have bought stuff on eBay. Do you remember what we do with people that are not really network providers?
Ask them to call the network provider.
Exactly. So it's good news for us. We're not going to get any of the eBay stuff that we can get at Symbol, or the general stolen equipment stuff. Oh, don't get that. Of course, we don't get that. Don't know how that happens. So again, we've got our queues here. Now, why are there more than one queues down here? We've got level 1. We've got all these queues down here. Why there's more?
Different divisions. So for supplies.
Yeah, You're right, different products. Do you remember we were talking about locations? Companies that have been bought. Some companies are such that work can be absorbed, and it's the sort of work that Mark has to do, which is choose which support centres. When Mark was talking about all these support centres, some will be large companies of which that expertise is very hard to move. Some will be small companies where a few key people can do it. But we have rationalised a reasonable point here. We have Horsham, San Diego, Marlborough. What's IPVS Sweden do?
IP video.
Yeah, IP video. Yeah, and again, that is one of the later acquisitions, so it's still Sweden. And later on, it may end up here. Okay, yeah, you get it. I can't know, but that's early stages. You almost can tell because it doesn't say level 3. It's just a queue. And this one here, on-demand solutions. Does anyone remember what they do?
Video on demand.
Video on demand. Again, it's a new purchase, exciting technology. So we have got here, and you can expect with Motorola's policies more exciting technology to be put on that list as it goes along. Right. So now, customer questions. In Symbol, we had our customer questions. So if we look over here, the typical questions in English for the customer would have been here for Symbol questions. In Spanish, it would have been here. And in German, it would have been there. But what's happened with Motorola is they've realised there's actually an efficiency to have what's called templates, sets of questions that are appropriate for particular equipment. Because when we go in the other room and look at the types of equipment, we'll get a sort of feel of exactly why you need aid to help you ask the right questions. And along here, we've got the questions that we need from the templates. Now, so what's this down here? Anyone tell me what's this down here? It's this list of words down here.
Yeah, there were the questions we had when we went through the templates.
Exactly. So it's these questions, as in the technical parts of these, is the reason why we need to go in the other room. So when we're asking the customer these things, we understand, what must we understand when we ask them? What the customer's telling us. We need to understand what his world is. Because there's no good sitting there, you've been to it before, where you sit there and someone has no idea what you're asking for. Yeah. I'd like to repair my high definition television. And they go, yes, I'll give you a number. You know they don't know what high definition television is. And we must not have that. From day one, we must be people, the customer thinks they understand cable networks, they understand my business, they understand why this is a pressure to me. So what I'd like to do now is, if it's okay, I'd like to take us and we'll just go and refresh in the equipment room.